So last two verses are very powerful. We studied about Krishna's position. So just to recap. Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetunanena kaunteya jagat viparivartate. Mayadhyakshena prakriti. Krishna says, I am the adhyaksha of prakriti. Prakriti is material nature. Suyate sacharacharam. Means he is also the master, material nature, which is the master of all the moving and non-moving nature, moving entities. Hetunanena kaunteya jagat viparivartate. Yeah, so this material nature, which is one of my energies, there are multiple energies, this is one of his energy, is working under my direction. Prakriti is working under Krishna's direction. Prakriti is not independent. The material nature we see around is actually perfectly working under Krishna. And so if you are facing problems within this nature, whom do you take shelter of? Krishna, because he is the master of material nature. O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. This creation is a temporary, and it keeps on going through cycles of creation and annihilation. Avajananti ma mudha manishim tanum ashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Another beautiful verse. What does it say? Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. When Lord comes to the material world in the form of a human, all the people of the world sometimes deride him. Oh, he is like one of us like us. He's not, he's somewhat powerful, but he's no different than any other human being. That is what many people's understanding is. Krishna clearly clarifies that is not so. What is his nature? Parambhavam ajananto. Mama bhuta maheshwara. Bhuta maheshwara is the master and the proprietor of the material nature. They do not know my transcendental nature as the supreme lord of all that be. Everything that exists is actually under the control of the Supreme Lord Krishna. And this is where we concluded. So very clearly Krishna is clarifying his position. So when Krishna comes, these are not just some made up stories. This is a reality that Krishna is the Supreme Lord and everything exists under his control. Material nature, everything that exists is completely under Krishna's control. Mogha Shamoga Karmano. You can all read with me from here. We are starting today's verse. Mogha Shamoga Karmano.
Mogha Shamoga Karmano.
Mogha Jnana Vichetasa.
Mogha Jnana Vichetasa.
Rakshasim Asurim Chaiva.
Rakshasi Asurim
Prakritim Mohinim Shrita.
Prakritim Mohinim Shrita.
For all those people who do not believe in the position of the Supreme Lord, this verse is clarifying what happens to them. Archana Mataji, please read.
Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demonic and atheistic views. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated.
Those who are thus bewildered or attracted by demonic and atheistic views. Atheistic person means one who does not believe in the existence of God. They basically they deny the existence of God. They think they are the supreme. Or basically they just outright deny the existence of Krishna, or for that matter, anything divine. Demonic means people who not only deny the existence of God, but also go propagate that God doesn't exist. And there are so many people in the past and in the current. It's a constant. There is always a constant debate between atheistic and theistic people. It existed millennia ago, and it existed now. In that deluded condition, what do? Their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated, because their core understanding is completely incorrect. Whatever they do in the deluded state, because this is called a deluded state. It's not natural state. In the natural state, one should understand that God exists and He is the supreme. But unfortunately, for those who are deluded, they carry these demonic and theistic views. But whatever actions they perform, it's all defeated. Defeated means it doesn't achieve its purpose. Ultimately, they, whatever actions they perform will not bear any fruit. Yeah. So these people never surrender to God. In the last 7th chapter, we discussed about 4 types of people, right? Muda means one is who is outright foolish. Yeah. Any question? Yeah. Muda. What are the 4 categories? One is Muda.
Jnani was
Maya aparita jnana asurim bhavam ashrita. Right? Those are the Muda. $750. Yeah. Namam dushkritano mudha prapadyante naradhama maya parita jnana asurim bhavam ashrita. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, lowest man among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. These are the 4 categories that don't surrender to Krishna. Yeah, and then he describes about those who surrender as well. So everything they do is wasted, basically. Another beautiful verse. Mahatmanastu mam partha
Mahatmanas Partha
prakritamakritaha
Devim
Daivam
Prakritam
prakritam asritaha
bhajanti ananya manaso
Bhajanti
bhajante
Ananya Manaso
ananyamanasa
jnatva bhutadimavyayam.
Jnatva
gnatva
Bhutadivyayam.
bhotadim avavyam.
Yeah. Aranyam, please read.
O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible.
Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritamashita. Those who are great souls, Mahatmas, what do? They take shelter of the supreme divine energy. Daivim prakritamashita. They are protected by the divine nature. Because they take shelter of Krishna, generally those who do not take shelter, they will be punished by the material nature. Right? It is like if you are in the jail, but you do not obey the superintendent of the jail, right? What does the superintendent do? He will increase the punishment. That's why you see Mother Durga with so many weapons in the hand. You saw the picture of Mother Durga with a trishul and a knife and with a tongue that is protruding outside. You know what that represents? It represents the ghastly face of the material nature. And why does she have such punishment? And she holds some heads in the hands. Actually, it is a representation of material nature punishing the asurim bhava, people who are against the divine, and they basically go through a lot of suffering in the material existence. That is just representation of that, right? Because they haven't taken shelter of the Supreme Lord, the material nature punishes them. But for those who take shelter, Mahatmanastu Mam Bharda, Daivim Prakritim Ashita. So the great souls are under the protection of the divine nature. So the same nature acts divinely. Means it helps the devotee. The same very nature which punishes the miscreant. If you are in the jail, but you are obeying the superintendent, right? Jail is a place of transformation. Jail is to be seen as a place of transformation. It's of course it is punishing, but the whole purpose of the jail is to change the heart of the people so that when they go back to the society, they can live normally. The whole material creation and existence of it is for the same purpose. The jivas who are not fully surrendered to the Supreme Lord are given the chance so that they can transform their hearts and be protected by the divine nature and ultimately go back to Krishna. So they are fully engaged in devotion service because they know me. But so what do you mean by Mahatma? Mahatma means one who 100% surrenders to the Supreme Lord. Bhajanti ananya manaso. Ananya manaso means in the heart of those people there is no other navigation. There is no other priority. The heart is fully situated. Their heart is fully dedicated to serving the Supreme Lord. Bhajanti ananya manaso. Jhatva bhutadim avyayam. To whom they actually worship the Supreme Lord. Right? So they are fully engaged in devotion service. Why do they engage in devotion service? Because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Bhutadim avyayam. Jnata means they know, knowledgeable. Bhutadim, Bhuta means living entity. Bhutadim means the origin of the living entity. And avyayam means inexhaustible. Vyayam means exhaustible. Avyayam means inexhaustible. The Supreme Lord is inexhaustible and He is the origin. One who understands that, what do? They are in the middle world, they are in like a jail. What do they better do? They actually surrender to the Supreme Lord, the source of everything, so that they get liberated. It's like so our ISKCON Institute sends Bhagavad Gita copies to jails all over the world. They freely send these copies. Many people actually read through all these verses. They can relate to their life very well. Within the purpose, Prabhupada gives all these examples that we discussed, like how the jivas are in the jail of material existence and how they can get liberated. And Bhagavad Gita transforms their heart. And many of them come out because they have completely changed. The book has changed their life forever. Even though they were like, thieves or robbers or murderers, they come out cleansed completely because they understand the position of material world, position of the Supreme Lord, and they transform their heart. Very clear, right? So they surrender to the Supreme Lord because they understand He's the supreme source of everything and He's inexhaustible. And Mahatma, we hear about word Mahatma, and we heard this verse in 7th chapter as well. Who is a Mahatma? Bahunam janmanam ante Jnanavam mam prapadyate Vasudeva sarvamiti Samahatma sudurlabha Bahunam janmanamante. After many births in the material world, Jnanavam mam prapadyate. After going through so many lifetimes in the material existence, one comes to the knowledge and surrenders to me. Mam prapadyate means Krishna is saying, they, after going through many lifetimes in the material world, they surrender unto me. Vasudeva sarvamiti. They say what? Vasudeva is everything. Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. Such a soul is very rare in this world. So such a person is called Mahatma. Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. Durlabha means very rare. Sudurlabha means very rare. So according to Bhagavad Gita, the definition of a Mahatma is one who surrenders his heart fully to the Supreme Lord Krishna. It's not one, one who fights for the independence of a country. One who understands the position of the Supreme Lord. That is a person who is Mahatma. Such Mahatma, what do? That is given in this. Mahatma is one who surrenders his heart to the Supreme Lord. Such a Mahatma, they take shelter of the divine nature. Daivim Prakritam Ashrita. And what do? They bhajanti. They chant the holy names every day, like we all do. Bhajanti Ananya Manaso. Without a second, they have no doubt who is the Supreme Lord. Their heart is fully given to Krishna. Jnatva Bhutadim Avyayam, who is the supreme source of everything. Very clear, right? Yeah. Now this is the powerful verse, very powerful verse. Please read after me. Unmute yourself. Satatam kirtayanto mam
Satatam
Satatam
kirtayanto mam
Kirtayantam
yatantascha dridhavrataha
yatantascha
Yatantascha dridam vratah
namasyantasya mam bhaktya
Syam
namasyantasya mam
tasya mam
bhaktya
bhakta
yukta upasate.
nityayukta
Nityayukta upasate.
Very beautiful verse. Satatam kirtayantoma. What do such a Mahatma do? Satatam kirtayantoma. Always chanting about me. They always chant the Krishna's name. Yatantascha dridhavrataha. There may be so many difficulties, challenges may come in his life. Sometimes he may go through a lot of challenges. Like if you're in a jail, do you get your life to be passed very easily? Exactly, same thing. Don't ask why you are in the jail first. You are here. If you are here, jail is not a place where there will be no anxieties. By their karma, by their actions of the past, everybody will go through their own challenges. But in spite of all of that, the challenges only make them strong in their surrender to Krishna. Yatantascha dridhavrataha means such a person with determination. What does he do? Namasyantascha mam bhaktya. He offers his obeisances. In spite of all the challenges, he does not lose faith in God. Instead, he actually surrenders to God. Namasyantascha mam bhaktya. Nityayukta upasate. He will not stop his worship of the Supreme Lord for anything. Nitya Yukta Upasate. He is continuously engaged in his worship. This is a devotee. Right? Please read the translation. Mihira, want to read? Mihira? Yeah. Sri Vidya Mataji.
Okay, Prabhuji. Always chanting.
Yeah.
Always
Mihira,
chanting my
unmute. Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Sri Vidya Mataji.
always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion.
Perpetually means always, never stopping. Right? always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me. These great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. So when a devotee worships the Supreme Lord, does it benefit the Lord? Is there any benefit to the Lord?
No, no, brother.
Who does it benefit? The one who is worshipping. Yeah. If you are in the jail, if you are becoming like a good character person, it is only going to help you. So similarly, this one. Because why? When you chant the name of the Lord is not material. It's not mundane. When you chant the holy name of the Lord, that is going to purify your heart. Your heart will become pure, and Lord can be situated in your heart by that effort. Endeavoring with great determination, bowing before me, always bowing before me. Right? Whenever you bow, you are actually advancing spiritually. These great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. Their life is 24/7 in the remembrance or in the chanting of the glories, or hearing about their pastimes, or hearing about the teachings like we do right now, Bhagavad Gita. Their life is just spent in these ways. And in that way, every day they increase their spiritual balance. Right? It's like a bank balance. It keeps on increasing as you engage in his service directly. Jnana yajnena chapyanye yajanto mam upasate
Yajanto
Yajanto mamupasate
ekatvena pritatvena
ekatvena
ekatvena
pritatvena
pratatvena
huda vishvato mukam.
bahudha
Buddha
vishvato
Vishwato
mukham.
Mukham.
Yeah. Varalakshmi Mataji, please read.
Others who engage in sacrifice by the cultivation of knowledge worship the Supreme Lord as the one without a second, as diverse in many and in the universal form.
So he talked about, Lord Krishna talked about the pure devotees. They engage in his direct worship like this. Mahatma Satatam Kirtayanto Mam. So that is, there are, in this world, there will always be people of different mindsets and methods, accept various methods of worship. Right? You can never say everybody only worships Krishna. Yeah. Others who engage in sacrifice by the cultivation of knowledge worship the Supreme Lord as the one without a second, as diverse in many and in the universal form. These are the three types of worships. They do ekatvena, pritatvena, bahuda vishwatomukha. So they're actually not exactly Krishna. So no. The first one is Krishna as one without a second, as diverse in many, means Krishna through the worship of various forms of the Lord, and in the universal form that Krishna showed. So yeah. Oh, actually, yeah. Let's read a little bit of this. It's a little bit confusing. And there are other persons. This verse is the summary of previous verses. Lord tells Arjuna that those who are purely in Krishna consciousness and do not know anything other than Krishna are called Mahatma. That is given very clear. Yet there are other persons who are not exactly in that position of Mahatma, but who worship Krishna also in different ways. Some of them have already been described as the distressed, the financially destitute, the inquisitive, those who surrender, who are engaged in the cultivation of knowledge. But there are others who are still lower, lower than the 4 categories that we discussed in the previous chapters. And they are divided into 3. He who worships himself as one with the Supreme Lord. Yeah, so this is the first one, Akatvena. Akatva means he considers himself and Krishna to be one. Right? That is a lower mode of worship. Second, he who concocts some form of the Supreme Lord and worships that. That is the second one. Pritatvena. Third, he who accepts the universal form, the Vishwarupa of the Supreme Lord, and worships that. Right? Out of the above 3, the lowest, those who worship themselves as the Supreme Lord, thinking themselves to be monist, are most predominant. Actually, in the middle world, many people think they are God. That is a problem, right? And they declare themselves to be God, right? So that is the lowest purposes. Such people think themselves to be the Supreme Lord, and in this mentality, they worship themselves. This is also a type of God worship. For they can understand that they are not the material body, but are actually spiritual soul. At least such a sense is prominent. Generally, the impersonalists worship the Supreme Lord in this way. The second class, impersonalist, means a person who thinks God does not have a form, impersonal. You see, this is a keyword. Impersonalists worship the Supreme Lord in this way. They think they are and God are same, and they merge into God. That is considered the lowest form of worship. You can never become equivalent to God. The second class includes the worshippers of the demigods, those who are by imagination consider any form to be the form of the Supreme Lord. And the second is, we know very well, especially in India, they worship 100 forms of the Lord, the different demigods. They think everybody is same. Krishna is same as Vinayaka, Vinayaka is same as Shiva, Shiva is same as Durga. And they put pictures of everybody and worship all of them. These are also considered lower class of worship. The second class includes the worshippers of the demigods, those who by imagination consider any form to be the form of the Supreme Lord. Right? And the third class include those who cannot conceive of anything beyond the manifestation of this material universe. They say, okay, this material universe is what we experience, and this is so vast and great. So this material universe is God. I accept this material nature as God. So that is the third form. Okay? Bahuda Vishwatomukam, or the universal form of love. They consider the universe to be the supreme organism or entity and worship that. The universe is also a form of the Lord. Universe is an emanation of the Supreme Lord. They think that this whole manifestation is working so perfectly, seasons, day, night, so much orderliness is there. So this universe is God. Right? Again, that is a lower mode of worship. Means the results will be also constitutionally lower. And we don't, these are, we should not follow any of this. Krishna himself clearly says these are lower modes of worship. But he clarifies this so that nobody can claim, hey, I worship myself as God, I want to merge into God. Then that is considered the lowest as per Krishna here. Aham kratur aham yajna.
Aham kratur aham yajna.
Swadaham aham aushadham.
Swadhaham
Swadaham aham
aham
aushadham.
Osratam.
Mantroham eva.
Aham
Mantroham aham
Mantroham
evajam.
Evajam.
Aham agner aham hutam.
Aham
aham
agniraham
Aham
bhutam.
Aham means me. I am this, Krishna is saying. What is he saying? Please read. Who hasn't read? Mihira? Yeah. Mataji?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Mats. Go.
But it is I who am the ritual,
I, the sacrifice, the offering to the ancestors, the healing herb, the transcendental chant. I am the butter and the fire and the offering.
Because there is nothing but Krishna in everything and everywhere. Aham kratur aham yajna. I am the ritual, I am the sacrifice. Swadaham aham aushadam. I am the healing herb, I am the offering of the ancestors. The transcendental chant, mantroham, all mantras are me. I am the butter and I am the fire and the offering. Everything is Krishna's. Now the question is, demigods are also part and parcel of Krishna. Right? The difference between worshipping a demigod and worshipping Krishna is, if everybody is part and parcel of Krishna, but you worship a specific demigod, you are worshipping the part. Instead, rather, you could directly worship the whole. The Supreme Lord is Krishna. If you worship Krishna, it's like Yata Taror Moola Nisheda Raja, right? We discussed that, remember? Beautiful verse. Always remember this verse because people question this. Why not worship this? Why not worship that? Yata Taror Moola Nisheshanena Triptyantistat Kanda Bhujo Pashakha Pranopaharacha Yatendriyana Tataiva Sarva Hanamachutejya. Very beautiful verse. As pouring water on the root of the tree energizes the trunk, branches, twigs, and everything else, and as supplying food to the stomach enlivens the senses, limbs of the body, simply worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the devotion service automatically satisfies the demigods who are parts of that Supreme Personality of God. So, by worshipping Supreme Lord, just like by watering a tree at the root, you actually water the entire tree, including its branches, leaves, twigs, everything. You don't need to separately water the leaves, the branches. Similarly, by supplying food to the stomach, you energize your bodily limbs, your senses, and everything. So, automatically you satisfy everything within your body by simply supplying food to the stomach. Similarly, by worshipping the Supreme Lord, everybody within his body, all the demigods, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, Agni, all the demigods, everybody is actually indirectly serving the Supreme Lord. Now, by worshipping the Supreme Lord, by serving the Supreme Lord, you actually satisfy everybody. Nobody feels I'm left. Why he is worshipping that day, not me. Nobody. Because by worshipping the president, none of the ministers will complain. They will be happy actually. Because you are approaching the root. So similarly, by worshipping the Supreme Lord, everybody will be satisfied. So why we are saying that? Because Krishna is everything. Right? I am the ritual, I am the sacrifice, I am the offering of the ancestors, the healing herb, the transcendental chant. I am the butter and the fire of all. Everything you offer is actually coming from me. So by using that in my service, that finds the best use of that object. Right? Everything finds its best use when used in the service of the Lord. Why? Because everything comes from him. So the fire is also Krishna because fire is one of the metal elements and is therefore claimed as separate energy of Krishna. So in other words, Vedic sacrifice recommended in Karma Kanda division of the Vedas are in total also Krishna. Or in other words, those who are engaged in devotion service unto Krishna are to be understood to have performed all the sacrifices recommended in the Vedas. Because by worshipping Krishna, you are actually doing everything possible to satisfy everybody. So there is no need to do anything. Pitaham asya jagato.
Pitaham
Pitaham asya jagato.
Mata dhata pitamaha.
Mata Bhata Pitamaha
Pitamaha.
Vedyam pavitram omkara.
Nityam pavitram omkara.
Iksama yajurevacha.
Samaya Jurevacha.
Pitaham asya jagato. Pita means I'm the father. Pitaham asya jagato. The entire universe. I am the father. Mata dhata pitamaha. Mata, I'm the mother. I'm the support. Dhata pitamaha, grandfather. Vedyam pavitram omkara. The Vedya means what is to be known. Pavitram, that which purifies. Omkara, the syllable Om. Right? The Rik, Sama, Yazur, everything, all these Vedas, they all come from it. Right? Let's read this. Rani Mataji. Please read. Rani Mataji, are you here? Uma Mataji. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am.
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Yeah, read. Yes, you can read. Rani.
My daughter going to read.
I am the father of this universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier, and the syllable Om. I am also the Ruk, the Sama, and the Yajur Vedas.
Thank you for reading it. Yeah. I am the father of this universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier, and the syllable Om. I am also the Rig, Sama, and Yajurveda. Very clear, right? So Krishna is clarifying his position as the father of the universe, the mother. Mother, actually, Krishna is considered father. Material universe is considered mother. Right? But material universe is coming from where? It is coming from Krishna. Right? We know the creation process. We discussed that many times. Right? Through Garbhodaksaya Vishnu and Kshirodaksaya Vishnu, how the universe is formed. So he is also the mother, the source of mother, right? The support and the grandsire. Everything that exists is supported by him. And I am the object of knowledge. Means anything you want to know, all the knowledge that you are learning in the material world or in the spiritual world, ultimately belongs to him, because you are trying to learn something. For example, you are trying to learn about some plant or a tree, computer. Ultimately, the source of that is again material nature, and which is again coming from the Supreme Lord. So ultimately, the real object, you go back to the source of anything you learn. Krishna is the source of all the knowledge, the purifier and the syllable Om. He is the one who purifies. He is the ultimate purifier. And the syllable Om. Om is considered the sound vibration, which is the source of everything. I am also the Rig, Sama, and Yajur Vedas. The knowledge of the Vedas is actually coming from Krishna. And so Krishna is the source, or Krishna is the knowledge. Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi.
Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi.
Nivasa Sharanam Shukrat.
Nivasa Sharanam Shruta.
Prabhava Pralayasthanam.
Prabhava Pralayasthanam.
Anam Bijamavyayam.
Nidhanam Bijayam Avyayam.
Yeah. Uma Mataji, please.
I am the goal, the sustainer, the master, the witness, the abode, the refugee, and the most dear friend. I am the creation and the annihilation, the basis of everything, the resting place, and the eternal seed.
Bijam Avyayam, the eternal seed. The seed means the seed is the root. So Krishna is that seed. And what did he say? Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi. I am the goal. Gati means the ultimate goal. Bharta means the one who sustains everything, the master. Prabhu, the Lord, or the Supreme Lord. Sakshi, the witness. As Paramatma, right? He is the one who witnesses everything we do. Whatever we do, you can never say, my action is not seen by anybody, because Paramatma is witness for every action we do. Nivasa Sharanam Shahrit, and the ultimate abode, the refuge, Sharanam. Suhrid, the most intimate friend. Who is your best friend? Suhridam Sarva Bhutana. Krishna is that Suhrida. He is the best friend. Means he is the one, a friend indeed is a friend in need. A friend in need is a friend indeed. They say, right? So the best friend for everybody is Krishna actually. Is nobody else but Krishna. Because he is the ultimate Prabhu and ultimate shelter of everybody. Prabhava pralayastata sthanam. I am the creation, annihilation, the basis of everything. Nidhanam bhijam avyayam, the resting place and the eternal seed. Everything rests within the Supreme Lord. Bijam avyayam, eternal seed. He's just clarifying his position. So in this way, becomes very clear who is Krishna. There is no doubt after reading all these verses for anybody to be confused. One who studied Bhagavad Gita, especially in the parampara like you're all doing, for them there should not be any question. Who is Krishna? What is his position? After especially going through 9th chapter and 7th chapter, very clearly show the position of Krishna. Tapami aham varsham.
Tapami aham varsham.
Nirgnami utsrujam yacha.
Nidhami cha.
Shaiva mrityuscha.
Amritam chaiva
Asatyaham Arjuna.
Sarasacham Arjuna.
Arjuna.
Yeah. Anybody who did not read yet? Yeah.
I can read, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Yes.
O Arjuna, I give heat and I withhold and send forth the rain. I am immortality and I am also death personified. Both spirit and matter are in me.
So I give heat and I withhold and send forth the rain. So the whole material nature is orchestrated under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. While he does not directly interfere in the affairs of material universe. Like for example, the demigods orchestrate the function of material universe, like rains, seasons, heat, cold. They're all orchestrated by the demigods. But the demigods are ultimately under the control of the Supreme Lord. They're not independent. They're acting on the order of the Supreme Lord. The 33 crore demigods or 330 million demigods, what are they doing? They are perfectly under the supreme control of the Supreme Lord. They're acting according to the will and wish of the Supreme Lord. Just like how all the cabinet ministers, they have their own portfolio, each of them. Somebody will be revenue minister, somebody is home, somebody is, foreign affairs, or any of these departments. But ultimately, all their actions are the reflection of the desire of the president or the prime minister. they don't do anything against what the will of the Prime Minister. So indirectly, it is the Supreme Lord who is actually controlling everything. Amritam Chaiva Mrityuscha. I am the immortality and I am also death personified. So atheists, those who deny the existence of God, ultimately see God in the form of death. Meaning they cannot escape death. Everybody has to die. When they die, yeah, that is how they experience God. Both spirit and matter are in me. Everything is because it is the source of both material and spiritual energy. So everything is coming from him. So that's Chaham Arjuna. So this one is a little bit of different tune. Traividyamam samapa putapapa yajne istva swargatim prardhayante. Yamas asadya surendra lokam ashnanti videva bhogan bhogan. Yeah, Achana Mataji.
Those who study the Vedas and drink the Soma juice, seeking the heavenly planets, worship me indirectly. Purified of sinful reactions, they take birth on the pious heavenly planet of Indra, where they enjoy godly delights.
So those people who are not focused on Krishna, instead they worship different demigods. Right? Because Vedas are full of descriptions of worshipping this puja, that puja, Varalakshmi puja, this yajna, that yajna. So many are there. What happens to them? Okay? Those who study Vedas and drink the Soma juice, seeking heavenly planets, worship me indirectly. This is indirect worship because you are going through the demigod Krishna. You are worshipping demigod in spite of worshipping the Krishna directly. Purified of sinful reactions, they'll get a higher birth. They take birth on pious heavenly planet of Indra, Swargaloka. Right? The path is given here. Where they enjoy godly delights. The life is 10,000 times better than life in America, for example, in heavenly planet. So that we know how life situation is better, say, in a lower or in a less developed nation to a developed nation, at least in our experience here. Indra's planet is 10,000 times better than the experience, say, in America. That is what is mentioned in scripture. It's far thousands of times better than material world, the best place in material world. So a person can take shelter of Vedas and worship demigods and achieve heavenly planets. That's possible. But the problem is what? Bhutva bhutva praliyate. They again come back. It's like a time spent there, exhaust your karma. It's like going to 5-star hotel. Once you go there, what happens? You will only spend your money. Once your money is over, you come back and work again. So they'll come back to karma bhumi. This material world, especially Bhuloka and Bhorloka, they're considered karma bhumi. There you accumulate your karma. You can go to higher planets, spend your karma, enjoy, come back again and work again. Which is meaningless because you're just bhutva bhutva praliyate. You're just going around in the spinning in the middle existence. Higher, lower. What is the point? So a devotee is not interested in such temporary provisions.
Prabhuji, you mentioned Bhu and Bhuvar, right? Bhumi. What is Bhuvar Lokam?
Bhuvaloka is a planet a little higher than Bhuloka. So there are 14 planetary systems, right? In the middle, the 7th and 8th are considered Bhu and Bhuvarloka. That's very similar to the planet that we live in, Bhuloka. It's again lower than, it's like India and say Sri Lanka, right? Like very similar to, it's little better than Bhuloka, but not as great as Swargaloka. Swargaloka is little higher than Bhurloka. Right?
Okay.
Swargaloka is far superior to Bhu and Bhuvar. But these are karma bhumis, means people who are people accumulate their good karma here, and they'll be placed based on their method of worship in a higher. Or if they are sinful, they go to lower planets. Right? Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Patala, Talatala, Rasatala, Patala, the lowest.
Three are very famous: Bhumi, Patalam, and Swargam.
Bhu, Swargaloka, yeah. Yeah, because people from Bhu and Bhur, they target Swarga. That is the reason all the Vedas, they talk about these three primarily. It's like, always if you are BTech, you want to do MTech like that. So people target next immediate higher planet, Swargaloka. Yeah. See, the word Trividya refers to the three Vedas, Sama, Yajur, and Rig. The Brahmana who has studied these three Vedas is called Trivedi. And we keep hearing about the names Trivedi, Chaturvedi. Originally, they were people who actually studied the three Vedas or four Vedas. Anyone who is very much attached to knowledge derived from these three Vedas is respected in society. Unfortunately, there are many great scholars of the Vedas who do not know the ultimate purport of studying them. Therefore, Krishna herein declares himself to be the ultimate goal of the Trivedis. Actual Trivedis take shelter under the lotus feet of Krishna and engage in pure devotion service to satisfy the Lord. Devotion service begins with the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra and side by side trying to understand Krishna in truth. That's what you are all doing today. You all chant, you also want to understand Krishna. That's why you're here in the class. Unfortunately, those who are simply official students of the Vedas become more interested in the offering sacrifices to different demigods like Indra and Chandra. By such endeavor, the worshippers of different demigods are certainly purified of the contamination of the lower qualities of nature and are thereby elevated to the higher planetary systems or heavenly planets known as Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka. Even these higher planets also included. Mahar, Jana, Tapa. Swargaloka is the immediate one. Once situated on those higher planetary systems, one can satisfy his senses hundreds of thousands of times better than on this planet. Right? It's much better provisions there. Life is much simpler. You don't need to work hard. It's very joyful time there. Tetam bhukva swargalokam vishalam.
Etam bhutva swargalokam vishalam. Chine
पुण्यामर्ते लोकं विशन्ति
Dharmam anuprapanna.
एवं धर्मम् अनुप्रापन्ना
Gata kama kama labhante.
गतागतं काम कामा लभन्ते
Tine mrityaloka Uchalokam vishanti. Yeah, please read.
When they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure and the results of their pious activities are exhausted, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus, one who seeks sense enjoyment by adhering to the principles of the three Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death.
See, Krishna himself is declaring this. Gatagatam kama kama labhante. They will only get repeated birth and death. What is the point? It's like You're going to the higher planet, enjoy, come back. It's like chewing the chewed. You have already enjoyed what is material world, right? If you keep on eating the same mango seed again and again, chewing the chewed, will you derive any juice? More juice? No, you won't derive any more new juice. But the jiva is continuously going through the cycle of enjoying the material pleasures again and again. So that is the unfortunate situation of the jiva in the material world.
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Mhm.
Here, it is mentioned like they return to this mortal planet again, right? So once the jivas, they elevated to the higher planets and they finish their good karma. So any jivas will come only to this planet. Why they should come to only this planet? Why not to any other like lower planets or any other planet? Because there is mortality, right? Then why it is mentioned that only this mortal planet?
Generally, that's what happens because mortality. See, Bhu and Bhuvar are special in the sense that they are karma bhumi. Means generally people get their pious or impious credits only in this planet. In the other planets, it's only exhaustion. Just like you're working for a company, for example, right? All of you are working at different places. You work, you earn money, and you say you went to a hotel or a 5-star hotel. What do you do there generally? You spend your money. You don't do anything else generally. And generally, when your money is exhausted, where do you go back? Again to the mortal world. You do nonsense here in the middle world, you go to jail. That is another way. Right? Going to jail is like going to lower planets. From, I'm talking about just civilian society. Generally, you don't go from, a 5-star hotel to jail. It's very rare. You generally go, enjoy, you're happy there. And after you're done, you come back to middle world. And if you do nonsense in the middle world, again, you go back to lower planets instead of going to higher planets next time. Those who are devotees, they are neither bothered about lower or higher planets. They want to go back to Krishna. They are not interested in this bhutva paliyate. They are not interested in the repeated gata gatam kama kama lavante. They are not interested in the repeated birth in the middle world.
So
Right?
this is the planet which decides whether the jiva will go higher or lower.
Yeah. If you go to 5-star hotel, will you have your mind on chanting and hearing? Can you be so focused? Very rare. I mean, the demigods themselves in Bhagavatam, they are queuing. They're worshipping the Supreme. They're saying, oh Lord, they're worshipping Garbhodaksa Vishnu. That is the personality. You see they go to Svetadvip in the worship. So whenever they're in trouble, they go there. They're actually, at one point in one of the canto, it says they want to take birth in Kali Yuga, because in Kali Yuga, just by chanting the holy name, one can achieve the highest perfection. The lifetime is very short, so they want to come quickly and go back to it. And they are actually lining up to take birth in the families of devotees. They are actually praying to the Supreme Lord, because even in Swargaloka, they're not interested. Because in Swargaloka, it's all a place of enjoyment. Where will you, if you have swimming pools and different card games, casinos in the hotel you are living in, where is the focus on worshipping the Supreme Lord? Here there is misery, there is everything, so there is more impetus for worshipping the Supreme Lord. But in higher planets, it is not there. That's the unfortunate situation. So in the lower planets, also it is not there. The same problem. So this planetary system, the Bhu and Bhuvarloka, they are the best places for worshipping the Supreme Lord. Okay?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Understood.
Only one more related question. So my daughter was asking, that Jaya Vijaya, they made one small mistake, right? They didn't let the Kumaras inside.
Hmm.
And then they were punished so much.
Hmm.
So when they do small mistake, they are punished so much. But some people do small good thing and they are rewarded so much. So why is it like that? So is it something like if you do a mistake in the higher planets, you get more punishment?
Actually, for Jai Vijaya, right, specifically talking about Jai Vijaya case, it is the plan of the Lord to come to the middle world to perform his Virya Rasa. If Krishna wants to come down to the middle world, right, and he wants to perform pastimes, right, who is a person who is capable of fighting Krishna? Or, at least there should be comparable personality, right? So to exhibit his Virya Rasa, Lord comes to the middle world. Right? Sometimes Krishna, just like, sometimes the president want to do a wrestling match, just like that. And he would not call any, normal demons, right? They'll be gone case. So instead, Lord would bring his people. So Jai Vijaya are actually gatekeepers of the Lord and they are great devotees. But they come to perform pastimes in the middle world. Right? When Lord wants, they only. So it is the Lord's desire that they are actually fulfilling. And that's the whole background. And how this happens, this is just some specific detail. The story is a detail. Okay. Yeah. Again, like the higher you are, that's also true. The higher you are, the more responsibility you take. Right? If a person in a higher position makes a mistake, the repercussions are more. Many people like to follow them. And so in one sense, yeah, that is also true. A Brahmana is supposed to be more self-controlled and mind control compared to other. If you do a mistake as a Brahmana, that constitutes more karma than as a lower person like a Shudra and other. That is also true, but in this case, that's not the truth. Okay.
Okay.
We'll end the class here. Any other questions?
Prabhuji, here they're talking about only the 3 Vedas, right? But there's 4. So one is skipped here. Is that true?
Yeah, one is skipped because these 3 are the primary Vedas: Sama, Yajur, and Rigveda. Atharva Veda is there. Atharva Veda is more. Sama, Yajur, Rig have mantras primarily, worshipping various demigods, and all these things are there. Atharva Veda is more of how to wield a bow. It has various kalas more than what Sama, Yajur, and Rigveda focus on. These focus more on worshipping, appeasing demigods, and also, of course, there is appeasement of Supreme Lord as well. So these 3 constitute the main section of the Vedas by division.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
I have a personal question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So
maybe we can discuss after.
Yeah, so the class is continuing, right? I thought the class is over.
Class will be ending. Yeah, class will be ending. Actually, I have to go to a place. Another class, another great devotee came. I want to attend his class. Maybe after an hour or so, maybe you can call Mataji.
Okay, I'll call you in an hour then. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you.